Hi everyone, and welcome to another Thursday episode of The Queen Chat. I'm your host, Althea Trix, and this week we're talking about marriage equality. Now, on this episode, I am going to get a little technical, a little political, and a little pissed. So, I hope you're ready to watch for this. If you don't like politics, you may want to go ahead and just stop the video right now. No, I'm warning y'all just because this subject is something that I'm really passionate about and I really don't understand. It's really easy for me to say, yes, I want marriage equality for everyone, but it gets complicated. I guess here in the United States it does get a little bit complicated just because of the way that the laws are written. In theory, marriage equality already exists, and as I understand it, one of the amendments, I'm going to look at it. I should have done some research on this, but I believe that there is an amendment, insert amendment number here, and that amendment basically guarantees the rights, that the rights of one state get recognized in another state. So let's say if you get a driver's license here in Texas, then your driver's license is still valid if you were to move or go to New York. I'm sorry, if you were to go to visit New York, then you could still drive your car legally there. You wouldn't have to go and get a New York driver's license so you can drive your car in New York. Same goes with, I believe, marriages. If you are married in the state of New York, then the state of Texas should recognize your marriage. But unfortunately, it's only for heterosexual marriages. The only reason that at this moment it is considered legal is because of the Defense of Marriage Act, DOMA. For me, I feel that DOMA is contradictory to X amendment that basically says that each state must recognize, I'm not really sure how it's worded, but again, that the states need to recognize like your driver's license and your marriage in other states. And since they're not doing that, since DOMA kind of contradicts the Constitution or that amendment, I guess it's safe to say that DOMA is unconstitutional. Actually, we are standing up against DOMA now, or more so now than we were in the past. And I'm really appreciative of that we are finally making a stand towards marriage equality. But this is where it kind of upsets me, because marriage hasn't always been between one man and one woman. It hasn't been this great, how do they say, this great institution. It's a man-made creation. How can we say that it is something that a higher power has handed down to us, and that if we were to allow marriages, non-traditional marriages, and by that I mean heterosexual marriages, that we would be destroying the sanctity of marriage? I mean, even now we have been given so many perfect examples of heterosexual marriages that are just not exemplary of what a marriage should be. For example, Britney Spears' 40 or 24 hours marriage, or less than that. I mean, it's ridiculous. Ridiculous. How is it that they have the capabilities to get married and divorce and say, whoops, you know, it was just for a joke, and well, we're straight so we can do that. But then there's gay people out there who don't joke around about that and don't have that opportunity. And so, for me, I guess, what upsets me about marriage is that, first off, the history. We know that there isn't anything that can really be saved. It's a man-made creation. People nowadays destroy the sanctity of marriage all the time. If people really wanted to save the sanctity of marriage, I believe that they would pass an amendment to ban divorce. I mean, let's think about it. We don't want to destroy it, so why allow the destruction of the sanctity of marriage through divorce? It just seems to be contradictory. And the same people who happen to say that we need to save the sanctity of marriage are generally the ones who are the first to destroy that sanctity. I'm throwing that word around a lot just because some people happen to like to use it a lot, and well, anyway. So we're talking about the history of marriage and why it upsets me, and how how the sanctity of marriage is being destroyed all the time. But what really upsets me, and this is kind of technical, this is really where we have to, I guess the law for me is sometimes really upsetting just because of technicalities or certain words. We have to be very precise or politically correct in order to be able to understand what's going on. And so, by saying that marriage is not a holy sanctity, and by saying that it is a man-made creation, I feel that we have a better understanding of what a marriage really is. A marriage to me is really a union. Right now, it's in the United States, it's defined between a union between a man and a woman. But the key words that I gather out of this, what we're in that DOMA, it's basically describing what type of marriage they think marriage really is, one that is between a man and a woman. But if we were to take out the descriptive terminology from the definition between a man and a woman, we would be left with a marriage is a union. Simple as that. A union. And if you want to, and I'm all for that. I'm actually for anybody that wants to have a union with another person, another consenting adult, then by all means you have that union, you have your relationship. That's essentially what we in the gay world want. We want our relationships recognized. We, here in the United States, we would love some of the benefits that some of the heterosexual couples get. I mean, why should we be denied some of those benefits? If, just because we happen to love a person, just because we happen to have non-traditional love. For me, I don't understand it. So for me, I think that the fight against, or the fight for marriage equality is kind of, it's probably not the right fight. If people want to say that marriage equality is this religious institute that handed down by a higher being, then let them. Why do we want to insert ourselves into marriage, into this religious institute that obviously wants nothing to do with us? Why do we so desperately want to be married? Why do we want to engage in marriages? Why can't we engage in civil unions? Why can't we say, I would love to be united with you, I would love to be, or have a union with you? My favorite one is I would like to get committed. Yes, because I would like to get committed. Eventually. Essentially, what I'm saying is that we really need to redefine this fight for marriage equality. We can't be trying to fight for something that someone won't let us have, especially when it has to do with religion and an institute that has nothing to do with us. We really need to redefine that fight. I'm going to break it down to you into a hierarchy, actually. We'll have a union up here, okay? And you can call your union whatever you want. If you want to call it a commitment, then you get a commitment and you can get committed. If you want to call it a marriage, because you happen to have spiritual ties to it, then you can call it a marriage. But your marriage is still a union. Your commitment is still a union. And if you want to have a civil union, then you can get united. You can do whatever the heck it is that you want to have your relationship recognized. So, while I am for marriage equality, I am more for the redefinement of unions across the world. There are some that are based on religion, there are some that are not based on religion, there are some that are based on money, there are some that are not based on money, there are some that are based on love. And love knows no boundaries. That is why we cannot limit, we just can't limit that. and I am. This is Altheatrix, and I am for union equality, because I eventually want to get committed. So yeah, I know that I've rambled on a lot about this, but as I mentioned, this is a topic that I'm really passionate about. That's really all I have to say. Well, I could probably go on and on, but that's all I should really say, because I want to leave some for another topic. And by the way, in case you're wondering what the hell is that on her face, these are some eyebrows that I created for my Poison Ivy look. I actually did a Poison Ivy number tonight, and that's why I still have this look left over. I just didn't want to get out of face. I felt very beautiful. But anyways, y'all, thank you so much for joining me this Thursday on the Queen Chat. I'm your host, Altheatrix. Y'all, let me know what you think about marriage equality. What do you think about my redefinition of commitments, unions, marriages, civil unions, and how they relate to the benefits and legalities and all that snazzy shit? Let me know what it's like. Share the video. Look me up, y'all. I bring up some interesting crap all the time. Literally. I do. Let's talk. Let's engage in some dialogue. Who knows? I might learn a thing or two. And I would love to learn a thing or two. There is so much more that I could learn. But anyways, y'all, again, thank you so much for joining me on this Thursday. My name is Altheatrix. Please stay tuned for our another guest Friday tomorrow. Love y'all. Peace out.